When I first saw them, I was coming to it thinking, wow, this disrupted landscape. My name is Meg Lagodzki, and I am a painter. I paint landscapes. One of the ideas that I read about a lot and think about a lot is the idea of wilderness, because I do like to paint things that don't have people in them, that look natural and wild. But the truth is, the things that I'm painting are, right down the road. They're not in a national park. There are a lot of beautiful wild things to be seen just in city parks without having to go to a national park. I'm trying to be very intentional about painting things that are close to home and showing how beautiful they are without having to go far away. Because the truth is, we have created big special parks, but they are things that have been set aside. The vast majority of this country is now used for some purpose or another. The idea of America is uniquely sort of rooted in our ideas about the landscape and wilderness. So I think a lot about what is wilderness, what is nature, what is the landscape, whose is it, and what does it mean to portray it? What kind of message am I delivering? And what sort of cultural baggage do I bring? I did not grow up here, so I did not have those teenage years of cliff diving and in quarries. The hook for me in the landscape is what's the story here? And the story was very much about this disrupted landscape, how dramatically this, the bedrock going so deep had just been torn up, cut up, and then left in these huge piles. But then nature's coming back and reclaiming it. And that story is a very specific Indiana story, but it's happening in a million ways all over the world. This is just what's in my own backyard. So for me, the quarries became about just sort of an awareness of the human impact on the landscape. So I studied painting and photography in college, was really interested at that time in painting the figure. That led me to do a lot of portrait work. In my 20s, I would say all the work I did at that time was the figure and portraits and portrait commissions. I would say in my 30s, I had basically stopped painting. I had a career, and then I had kids, and we moved a lot, and I just, for a good 10 years, I just didn't pick up a paintbrush. And then, I guess about 10 years ago, I'm a cancer survivor, and they thought that the cancer had come back to my thyroid, and so they said it had to come out. So I had surgery to have my thyroid removed, and as a result of that surgery, I lost my voice, and I couldn't talk for about a year. So I got kind of depressed for a while there. And I really kind of credit my mother, of all people. She called and said, "You're sad. You used to get a lot of joy from painting. You should pick up your paintbrushes again." Someone at IU over the summers invited me to come and take a landscape painting class. I agreed to give it a try, and I just, from day one, was just hooked. I just loved packing my easel out and getting out there kind of away from people and getting into the landscape. I'm still painting in quarries a lot, but I think having that entree into landscape got me into some other ideas. Typically, most of my work just starts with hiking at a location. Pretty much from March to June, I'm out with my plein air easel every day that weather permits. So I'm sketching, I'm painting these little plein air paintings, and I'm kind of gathering all of these ideas, and then start to find that I'm going back to a site over and over and over again. I'll paint the same place a dozen times, and I'll start to think about which of these could be something more. The plein air paintings are one thing, but sometimes I want to tell a bigger story. There are some landscapes that just, the size is important. If I need to come into the studio and do something 8 feet long, because it's important to me to show the scale of this thing. Some motifs, that's what I need to do with them. Some, doing it this size, that's all they ever need to be. That, I've told the story. But some things I just need to go a step farther. And then over the last couple of years, I started experimenting with collage, and that became another step further. So for me, the quarries became about just sort of an awareness of the human impact on the landscape. I think it's important to be aware of what we have left, wherever it is, to be aware of how special it is.